Hey everyone, this is Nikki in Austria. I'm here in Graz, which is the second largest city in Austria, and I've been here for about a week. Um, this place is very dreamy. I've enjoyed my experience here so far. I traveled from Graz to Tauchen, Vienna, and back to Graz, and it's nothing short of wonderful. Um, I arrived in Graz because my Flixbus arrived in Graz, and everything is was wonderful in a way that when I arrived in Graz, the public transport was great. I find it great, even from my very high standards of the public transport from Japan, for instance. The timetables were on point. However, the train station from Graz, they use S-Bahn from there to go to the main station. There was no information center, so I didn't know how or who to ask when I got there. But when I arrived to the main station, the information center was there and there were staff who spoke English very well. So I didn't find it difficult at all. And the people themselves, the locals, are very kind. I asked for directions and I spoke English, obviously. And they were very well, like they were good at communicating in English as well. So, if you're a tourist, I don't think you will ever get lost if you lose your way because the people, the Austrians, they're very nice. They might look rigid because I feel like maybe they share a bit of a culture with the Germans, but the Austrians are very nice, to be honest. And then I traveled from Graz to Tauchen, which is in the middle of nowhere, but it's so beautiful out there. So I spent the days there and I was able to explore the small town. I went cycling. At one point, I even got lost and I went to the nearest establishment that I could find within the town, like the place where I got lost, and I saw this barn with real big cows with bells. It's the first time I've seen a cow in person, and it was funny. I was there, and I imagined like maybe someone is there, so I shouted. I was like I have a Snow White kind of experience, shouting, "Hello, is anyone home?" And the barn man, how would you call that guy, like the person working in the barn tending the cows? The barn man went out and he was like, "Hi," like he spoke in German, but I didn't understand. So I asked him like whether he could speak English, and he was like, "Yeah, a little bit," but he was fluent actually. So I was like, their level of a bit of English is fluent, and who doesn't speak English here? So I asked for directions, and he was like, "You have to go to the right, and then after you see a house, turn left, go straight. After two to three houses, you turn somewhere else, and you will get to the place where I'm looking at." And that two to three houses was far. I cycled for a good 5 minutes before I reached the two to three houses he talked about. And it was pretty straightforward because I just went straight. And then basically, there was like an intersection where I needed to turn to get to the station because the place where I was staying at was near the station. And I found my way back. But I was lucky because I found a barn, and that region, that town was very secluded. The houses are far apart from one another. So I guess that would be the highlight of my stay in Tauhen. And then my team and I went to Vienna to to implement an activity, a project, and it was beautiful. I find Vienna beautiful. it reminds me of Paris, but like the classier version of Paris, if I may say. It's beautiful. It's very clean compared to, like, major cities in Europe. I've only been to Paris and Rome so far, Sofia, Bulgaria, Bratislava. So not a lot of cities. I've also been to Bucharest, but like in comparison to like the major cities, big cities in West Europe, I find Vienna like well preserved, beautiful, and clean. Of course, the usual problem was like looking for a bathroom or for water to refill your my tumbler. And in Vienna, there are water fountains everywhere, so water was not a problem. Just the bathroom was a problem. So I looked from hospitals, museums. I was lucky to find a museum, and they let me in and they let me use the bathroom. So that was great. And we revisited the places where, the movie Before Sunrise. So it was shot in Vienna. Some parts of that movie was shot in Vienna. And we visited some places of Vienna that was shown in the movie. It was cute and very nostalgic in a way, if I could say that. And then we went back to Tauhen. I went on my way home, I went to Graz. Graz is another beautiful small town. It reminds me of French towns, to be honest, because everything is walkable. Like the spaces, the public spaces are clean. And that's what I wish for in a town. Like towns that I could walk through, towns that are clean, so that I could explore them. I am not into, the very touristy parts. I love the part in Graz where we saw this, the clock tower where there was a fort. There's a fort in Graz. There's a walled space in Graz, and you go through that. You would see all government establishments there, and there is up the highest point of the walled city. There's a port, and in that port, you would see a clock tower and a bell tower and the prison cell. And we hiked all the way up towards the prison cell, and they apparently use that nowadays as a concert venue. So we were able to see the prison cell, and on the way down, we used a tram, if you would call that a tram, going down. And it's a nice ride. It's like an amusement park kind of thing. Um, I love Graz, to be honest, and I feel like if you live in Graz, you try to explore make the most out of the city because it's beautiful. Like the walking spaces are beautiful, everything is clean. You can easily get from one point to another, which is what I love the most when I live in a town. Like I love walking, I love exploring. So I love cities where I could walk through and explore them by myself. So I feel like if I get a chance, Graz is a good option to live in, to be honest. I love it. And now I'm going to introduce you something that one of my Austrian friends has shared with me. This Latella. Apparently it's made of it's made of the he told me that it's made of the thing from milk, like when milk settles, the foam that settles on top of the milk, this is what it's made of, and this is like mango flavored, that part of the milk. So I'm gonna try it out because I'm very curious and I'm feeling thirsty right now. So let's see how it goes. Hmm. It's like yogurt, to be honest, with mango flavored. It's creamy and sour, but I guess the sourness is from the mango. But it's not creamy. It's creamy, but it's not. How do you explain that? Like, it's creamy, but not thick creamy. I know it's dairy, but it's not as thick as milk. So it's very light, easy to drink. It's like yogurt, a yogurt drink. It's nice. I love it. Have you ever tried this? Latella. I highly recommend this. He said it's an Austrian product. Of course, everything is in German. So, oh, there's an English translation here. It says it's called a whey drink fermented with 10% mango puree pasteurized. Ingredients: fermented sweet whey milk. So, probably that thing that settles above milk is called whey. 10% mango puree, sugar, acidity regulator, sodium citrate, lactic acid, ascorbic acid, and flavoring. Refrigerated. Best before. See top. So it's whey. It's good. Have you tried this? You should try this out if you travel here. Latella. And I'm not promoting because I'm paid by Latella, but I like it. So that's all for now, guys. I'm halfway through summer. I haven't really studied. I have exams end of September. I'm trying my best, but I'm making the most out of summer because honestly, I haven't had a break ever since I moved to Japan. It was 5 years, and I feel like I deserve this break. So I'm gonna enjoy the most of summer. Ciao.